powerful report here just for our own information here. So for those of you guys that don't know, we do have a YouTube page on FFL Genesis, or it's under my name, Corey Williams, just to make it easier to find. Leadership did not create that for, to be YouTube famous, obviously, but it is put out there for, I guess some people trying to get in here. It was put out there for the agents, by the agents. And the reason we did that is that there's all types of training and stuff like that that's out there. We had to make the page private due to how the FTC wants us to not share sales numbers and those kind of things. So we want to be able to continue on our Friday meetings to share sales numbers, from a recognition standpoint, et cetera. So good morning, Michael. If you guys are interested in that, just go out there. It is a private page now, FFL Genesis. So the reason we put this meeting on is because we know people getting started here can be somewhat difficult. We have put this little manual, or I shouldn't call it this, but our Bible to getting you onboarded has been put out here. A lot of people don't read this for whatever reason. It is not a manual. It is an instruction guide, if you will, or not a book. It's an instruction manual. It walks you through steps 1 through 10 to get you onboarded. As you're coming on, I highly recommend you use this, because as you get licensed, the second email that you get from Amy will have this in it. This is extremely, extremely helpful, but we know that everybody learns different ways, auditory, kinesthetic, by doing those kind of things. So that's the reason why we have this meeting as well. So instead of me talking for 30 minutes and putting all you guys back to sleep, what we do, we've changed the structure and the format. So you guys will hear different people kind of pop in with the steps as we go through. Again, adults learn by doing, as opposed to sitting here listening to me. All right. A couple key things here in the next 2 weeks. We will have, if you are wanting to recruit, and again, here at FFL, no one requires you to recruit. No one will force you to recruit. No one will tell you have to recruit. If you decide to build an organization, we'll help you do it. You got people like myself that will help you do every interview that you have. And then, of course, as you're going through the onboarding process, that's what this meeting is for. And obviously, we're here to support that as well. But again, we're begging you guys, just please go through this step by step. You'll make the process so much easier. Some of you guys may have seen this because it was posted on LinkedIn, I believe. But if you did or didn't, here at the end of the month, and FFL's pretty good. If they say they're going to get something done by a certain time, typically they do. But here in the next, let's call it 30 days or less, we'll be able to get newly licensed agents appointed with 3 of the main carriers within 24 to 48 hours. It is actually being piloted right now, so that'll speed the process up. The second thing is prosperity, which we'll talk about prosperity briefly here in a moment. Once you have a new agent start and they get licensed, within their first 24 to 48 hours, they complete all the information for prosperity. Once that information is completed, typically you'll get your agent code within about 24 to 48 hours. Prosperity now has a term product, which Renee trained on last Friday. That is actually what's posted on our Slack line. It will be put on YouTube. It'll be placed on YouTube sometime here in the next 24 to 48 hours. But that allows a new agent to get started and to start writing term and whole life business. So you have it all with that one carrier, and they're a pretty solid carrier, by the way. So some people get paralyzed by, I'm going to wait till I get all the carriers to get started. You're doing yourself a major, major, major disservice. You really are. So last thing before we get started and start enlisting some of you guys' help. Again, if you're wanting to build an organization, you want to use ZipRecruiter. It's $50 a month. You get to pick the city. So let's say you wanted to pick Kansas City, St. Louis, and Peoria, Illinois, maybe $150 a month. We set the ads up for you as they come in. We'll filter them out to you, and we'll actually help you do the interviews as well. So if you're interested in that, just send me a Slack message at COREY, Corey Williams, and just put ZipRecruiter, and I'll reach out to you and walk you through the process. Anybody have any questions about that? Perfect. All right. So here's where we have a little bit of fun. Amy, I'll call on you a couple times throughout the meeting, as you know, and you can cut me off at any time. Anything before we get started? I know you maybe wanted to hit on this again, but anything at all? Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do, guys, is very quickly, and I'll enlist you guys' help again, is go through the process here. Website, commissions, prosperity, Slack, error and omissions, bootcamp, AML, which stands for anti-money laundering for those of you guys that are just getting started. And then last and certainly not least, Workspots. So let's flip this. Can anybody tell me what Workspots is and how much it is a month?
Anybody? Cut me off.
All right, I'll tackle it myself. So
okay.
Workspots
is an app that you can download via the App Store, I believe. It is $99 a month, but it's way more than just that. It provides you with discounts for the leads in the CRM and other places, but mainly the CRM, which is pretty much helps the app pay for itself and like the discounts and things like that. It has other discounts a part of it, like enterprise. So for me, I'm 24. So like if I want to get a rental car, they're going to be charging all types of extra fees and things like that. I don't have to worry about that for the most part with the Workspots enterprise discount. So it's really, really useful app. You get it's a write-off as well. If you don't have it, then I mean, you're probably not in business. I don't know.
Very good, Michael. I couldn't have said that better myself. And thank you for sharing this morning. So as Michael mentioned, Workspots, guys, our website is fflgenesis.com. We've had to make some modifications to it. I'm trying to get in contact with with our web host and all that kind of stuff now to fix this and our other site. But as Michael was mentioning with Workspots, if you come onto our FFL Genesis page and you scroll down to the bottom under, I believe it's additional resource. Yeah, additional resources. You can see right down at the bottom right-hand corner, Workspots sign up. As Michael eloquently mentioned, $99 a month. You're going to write it off. You'll make that back in discounts. All right. Thank you, Michael. Can anybody next go to AML, Anti-Money Laundering, and explain to me what AML stands for and what anti-money laundering is? Anybody?
Yes. So like AML, anti-money laundering, basically is by you completing that is your, I guess like you're giving your word saying you're not going to steal your clients' monies or commit fraud and things of that nature. So God forbid if you did do something like that, you're going to get into some big trouble because you said you wouldn't do that by completing that. It's also a requirement by a lot of I think all of our carriers, honestly. And they do expire. Like mine is actually expiring in June. So I have to do my AML for Mutual Omaha here soon just to make sure it doesn't like lapse and things like that. So very, very important.
Very good. And you hit it right out of the park again, Michael. On our website again, fflgenesis.com, we've already put a link out there. Let me go back to this to make it easy. We've already put a link out there again under Genesis Additional Resources. Again, we created this site so you guys don't have to try to have 1,000 different places to go. You come out here, you scroll through, you'll find it. All I simply did was clicked on WebCE. And the reason why we use WebCE is a nationally recognized organization. So their trainings are all certified, etc. You simply come out here, where we've taken you directly to this portion, order the anti-money laundering course and complete it. This shouldn't take you any more than probably 20 to 30 minutes at the absolute most. I just completed, as Michael was mentioning, mine was coming up with Mutual of Omaha. It says it takes about 40 minutes. I was able to get it done in about 25 minutes last night for Mutual. Now, here's a little pro tip. There are other places to do anti-money laundering, okay? There's tons of other places to do it. The reason why we highly recommend WebCE is because all the carriers recognize, well, all is a strong word, 99.9% of the carriers recognize WebCE. So when you finish it, it's going to give you a certificate at the end. Make sure you save that certificate because you're going to need it later, especially if you're new and you're just now going through the licensing and appointment process. You will have to upload that into SuranceBay, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Okay. WebCE, there is a cost, but again, if you keep your receipt, you can write it off at the end of the year as a business expense. And for those of you guys that aren't aware, I know this is a recruiting meeting. We have our third, which I'm very excited to announce. We have our third next level training, which is going to cover all of this stuff from buying your leads all the way through closing a deal. And these are some of the things that we'll talk about there to make sure that you're educated and you understand, what you need to do to get yourself and your new teammates started. WebCE is anywhere from $9.50 up to $15, depends upon the state that you're in, but it allows you to do that WebCE and then it'll work for all the other carriers. We'll talk about Prosperity in a moment. Anybody have any questions about AML? Thank you, Mike. Go ahead, Renee.
I just got my email that my AML is expiring with Mutual in June also. Do we have to send that separately to Mutual or do they get that if I upload it into SuranceBay?
So great question, Renee. So when you guys get these specifically from carriers, fantastic question, by the way. When you guys get these specifically from carriers, go ahead and complete it. It doesn't take very long. It's very easy. Renee will take, you're smarter than me. It won't take you any time at all to get through it. When you complete the one with Mutual of Omaha, it's through LIMRA. So there's nothing you have to do. When you complete it, LIMRA then sends the information to them. Okay. So there's nothing you have to do once you complete it.
Okay, so I have to go to LIMRA for Mutual?
No. Just click on the link that the email that Mutual sent you. Just click on the link on there. It'll take you right to LIMRA, and then you just click on it and take the course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Also,
just follow. It's really
I was
simple.
going to jump in real quick. Also, usually when you get the email, there is also return information with different carrier. They're all different. So if you get an email, it will say, you know, to send it, you can send a copy to, there's a fax number or an email or whatever it is. It's always, in my opinion, always smart to make sure that it is uploaded to Surance Bay. Make sure that the carrier is in receipt of it.
Well, here's the deal. That's, and in any other case, you'd be absolutely correct. At the end of the course through LIMRA, what it tells you is they will send the certificate through Mutual, and they do not give you a certificate. It actually tells you that at the end.
Right, but not all carriers use
Right.
LIMRA. So that's why I was saying to make sure that you always check with the carrier to make sure that they have it. Except for obviously in that case, because LIMRA sends it directly there.
Correct.
So
Not
I
all
guess,
carriers send them directly to, or not all companies send them directly to the carrier.
Right.
so I guess my question is, what if I wanted to do WebCE instead of LIMRA? So that I didn't have to go and do WebCE later for the other carriers?
Great question. This particular one with Mutual is very specific. So you have to complete this one. I knew this question would come up, so I called Mutual yesterday and probably spent way too much time. So Renee, I'm actually glad you, I guess my time's not wasted. So here's the reason why when you get the email from Mutual of Omaha, you want to complete that one. I'm sure you guys have heard of cryptocurrency at this point, right? As much as I'll be the first one to admit, I didn't think cryptocurrency would take off. Boy, was I wrong, right? No, there are no life insurance companies in the United States that are currently taking cryptocurrency for payment, but their AML for Mutual of Omaha is, it does have the cryptocurrency portion a part of it, which tells me at some point, Mutual of Omaha is either getting ahead of the curve or they see it coming and they want to be prepared. So this particular one you have to do with Mutual has all the other normal AML stuff, but the second section of that has cryptocurrency. So you have to do that one for Mutual. That answer your question, Renee?
Yep, thanks so much.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you asked, because I spent probably an hour and a half going through that because I knew that question would come up at some point and I wanted to be able to give a correct answer. Does anybody else have any questions about AML, also known as anti-money laundering? Thank you, Amy, by the way.
Hey, I have a question. So
Sure.
if we take the LIMRA course through Mutual, will other carriers that accept LIMRA accept that one, or would we have to take another one?
Most of the care, because you don't get a certificate through LIMRA, it sends it directly.
Okay.
My advice would be, if it doesn't show the specific carrier, you're probably going to want to do the one with WebCE as well.
Okay.
You know, I know for us, Mark, here in Missouri, it's $10 and it takes you about 15 minutes. And
Yep.
truth be told, guys, I know this is on recording, but I like being honest with people. When I say I skimmed the material, I skimmed it and I did the whole thing in 15 minutes. Again, Michael hit it right on the head. They're just wanting to make sure that there's something out there that you signed and dated, that you went through the course, that says you're not going to steal anybody's money and you understand what to do. I mean, most of us, we don't even collect checks anymore. So it'd be pretty tough for you to do that unless you're just a malicious person from that standpoint. Good question there, Mark.
Yep.
Anything else? All right. So next we're going to swing to boot camp. Can anybody tell me the importance of boot camp? A. B, when should you do boot camp?
You do boot camp after you pass your licensing exam. The reason we do it, it covers all the basics of what we do, pretty much in video format. Just gives a breakdown of the carriers, the sales process, and so on.
That's it. And Mark, the key thing that Mark said there, thank you, Mark, for covering that. The key thing that Mark covered there is boot camp. I have a lot of people tell me they're going to complete the boot camp and then they're going to do the licensing material. That makes no sense at all, because why complete the boot camp if you don't pass the test, right? That'd be kind of silly. That's the reason why we put it in that order. That's the reason why we have a process in place. So that's when you cover boot camp. After you've passed your test, you've applied for your license. While you're waiting that couple of days for it to come back in, if you haven't had to do fingerprints and all that fun stuff, by the time that stuff happens, you'll have completed boot camp, etc. You also get a 30% discount on your first lead order if you complete the boot camp within the first, I think it's 10 to 14 days, or we'll go with the shorter 10 days. I've gone through it a couple times. There's a 20K boot camp. Once you write your first 20,000 in a month, that's pretty good. Kind of takes it to the next level there. Really quickly, since we're on this subject of licensing, once you get your license, there's something called reciprocity. Okay. So if we live in, the majority of our team is in Missouri, right? We're in Missouri and we want to get licensed in Illinois. Right here where it says state licensing requirements. If you click on that, again, this is on the FFL Genesis website. It's going to take you out to this site. Hopefully this opens up. I didn't know there was an issue with this. But what this is going to show you, if it comes up, what this is going to show you is what the requirements are for each of the states. So it'll literally tell you if your state requires fingerprints, if your FBI background check, if you can just do it online, or if you have to go someplace, whatever the case is. Not sure what's going on with this site this morning because I was just in here yesterday and it worked fine. But if nothing else, we'll get this fixed up. But anyway, what this does, here we go. So I'm going to click on where it says see all 53 articles. Basically, they're calling an article a state. And if, let's say you wanted to get licensed in Alabama, it literally says how to get licensed in Alabama, and will literally walk you through the steps on how to get licensed. All 50 states are in here. So if you want to do that and want to get your license in that other state, you can. I typically cover this later, but if you're here and you have an agent in another state, let's say you're in Alabama and you have an agent that's in Arkansas, you want to make sure to apply for that license in Arkansas and get your license there to make sure you receive overrides. Some states do not require that you have a reciprocity license to get overrides, but some do. I would not want to find that out after the fact. If one of your teammates helps a family and you're expecting a 5% override and it doesn't show up, the carriers will not go retro and pay you. So make sure you take care of and handle your business before that happens. Anybody have any questions there? Sorry that took so long to load for whatever reason. All right. E&O, can anybody cover error and omissions and why we need it?
Very, very, very important. E&O, errors and omission, basically is going to protect you should any of your clients sue you for any wrongdoings, whether you're at fault or not. They pretty much, do all the legal handling for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It is a monthly cost, but just like your clients and stuff like that, you're paying for the insurance that should anything bad happen to you, you're covered. So, it's kind of ironic if you sell life insurance and you don't have E&O. Yeah.
And it's a requirement. Michael, you knocked it out of the park again. You're hired. Thank you. So just so you guys know, Michael hit it right on the head. FFL has partnered with the company to give us a little bit discounted rate. I know there was somebody a few months ago that not on this call, by the way, somebody a few months ago that had recently filed bankruptcy and none of the E&O carriers wanted to accept him. Well, I'm pretty certain because of our relationship with this particular E&O carrier, that person came through here and it went right through. So very simple. Again, this is on our website under additional resources. You can see E&O, error and omissions, and it's exactly what Michael said. If you make a mistake on something and you get sued, they're gonna cover you. 20 plus years, guys, knock on wood, no issues. If you're doing the right thing by clients, this is never gonna be a problem. So we don't want to scare you or anything like that, but it's just like a doctor having malpractice or an attorney having malpractice insurance. It's the exact same thing since you're a licensed professional. Any questions about E&O? I
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I just renewed my E&O and I went ahead and used 360. My first year I did NAPA, but 360 was less than NAPA for my renewal. But I'm wondering, why do they do 11 months instead of 12?
Because you made the initial down payment. You made that $84.
I actually paid for the year, but it was 11 months instead of 12. My Napa one was 12 months.
Well, they probably gave you a discount for paying for the year, the $399. Does that help?
No, so what they did was they gave me, like, it expires in 11 months instead of a full year, is what I'm saying.
But they didn't charge you for the full year. Then they charge you the $399 for 11 months, right? So it's 11 months of coverage instead of 12.
Yeah,
So I'm going to hit the button here and pull this up because it
I
actually
was
walks
just
through.
curious as to why they don't do the full year like the other carriers do.
I have no idea. Maybe this is just what they have set up with us. I'm not sure. But guys, you can see here very quickly, this is $1 million per claim, $1 million aggregate. So basically what that means is it's $1 million per year of coverage. It'd be pretty hard for you to get sued for over $1 million if you didn't have $1 million policy on somebody. So there's other coverage levels, but this one is going to be sufficient. If you want to buy more, you can. As Renee mentioned, you can see here on the screen where it says effective date, paid in full, $399. Apply for coverage today. So Renee, I think this coverage, because it is a group plan with FFL, the coverage technically starts 3/1. So maybe that's why it did it. If you would have started in April, in April, maybe it would have been different. That's the only thing I can tell you. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because it's the group plan. But you guys can see the down payment of $84.12, and then you guys can see the monthly after that, or you just pay the $399 for the year. It's pretty simple once you go in, and then they'll give you a certificate once you've paid. Save that certificate because you'll need it again to upload into HCMS, or excuse me, I apologize, into Assurance Bay, because then that's when they'll pull it and they'll send it out to all the carriers once you put that in there. Any other questions? Yeah, Renee, I think it's something exclusive to us. And you can see in the second red check mark, this E&O policy renews on March 1st. So that might be why you're doing 11 months instead of 12, since March 1st is passed. All right, good question. Okay, Slack, can anybody explain to me when you want to add one of your new teammates to Slack? And not only that, what the importance of Slack is.
As soon as they onboard.
That's right. Thank you, Mark. And the reason you want to do that, guys, as soon as you get your new teammates onboarded is so that they can see sales, they can see what's going on with the team, they can see upcoming meetings and trainings. Like today's meeting, guys, to see it was posted at roughly 7:30 this morning. See, Brian came in there late last night, helped the family with AMAM, etc. So if Brian's on, I think that was that one we were talking about. You asked the question, isn't it, Brian? I don't know if he's on or not this morning. That's pretty cool. He's able to get that guy placed. But you can just see some of the other things, company bonuses, strings. We'll go over this stuff on Friday just for you guys to know, keep the meeting going. But anyway, we'll go from there. Congratulations to you, Michael, by the way, for being a feature agent for all of FFL earlier this week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And Renee from last week as well. So just other discounts, those kind of things that you guys will see out here. Any questions? Mark hit it right on the head. You want to get your agents on here as soon as you get them going and get them into the process. Very simple to get them added as well. If you guys need help with that, let me know. I'm happy to walk you through it, or your leadership person can as well. All right, last couple things. Prosperity. So I know we've talked about this before. Prosperity is a carrier that they can have literally from day one, as soon as they get their license. So once they get their license, go ahead and get all the stuff sent in and let us know. Amy can get the welcome portion sent out from that. And then you have to send them their prosperity code. It takes a while to walk through it. So I think we have a video out there on YouTube how to do that. You simply go out there and type in FFL Genesis prosperity. If not, I'll check because I might need to do an updated one. But the two products that they'll have right away, a term and a whole life product now. So there's no reason to wait. Anybody want to cover, or who can tell me what is kosher from a commission level split to start a new agent out with? Anybody?
I believe it's like a 10% split, right?
Yeah. 10, 15, guys, we would say 20 at the max. So here's what we mean. Thank you, Michael. If you're at 100, let's say your conversation's sake, you're at 120. If you're going to be helping an agent out with leads, obviously while you're training them and everything else, in most cases, you shouldn't put any more than about a 20% split. When they help their first 15 families, and you'll see that on the issue pay report, when they help their first 15 families, give them a 5% increase. So there's a 10% split, 10-15% split between you and them. You're going to be more apt to help them if you're actually making some income of what they're doing. 5% is too small. Psychologically, you'll turn your back on somebody for 5%. A lot of people will. I'm not saying you guys would, but if you got 10 or 15% split between you and somebody, you're putting some time and some work in with them. They're going to be calling and ask you questions. It's going to be worth it for both of you. And your split does not take away from their income, by the way, just so you guys know that. I got that question from somebody yesterday. They were struggling with that for whatever reason. So 15-20% if you're going to be helping them with leads. If you're not going to help them with leads, I'd say 15%. Once they hit their first 15,000, 15 families helped, if you will, give them a 5% increase. We can submit that to home office and take care of that. You are the one that has to send your agent codes prosperity. Keep that in mind. You need to help with that. Reach out to me, reach out to your business partner. All right. Website. Anything, first of all, anybody have any questions about prosperity? Perfect. All right. Last couple things, and we'll go through the full process and get you guys about your day. Appreciate you guys being on again. So let me share my screen again. Again, guys, if you guys will just bear with me for the Join Genesis website, if you will. So we got some technical difficulties going on with that, trying to get them done this week. All right, so here again, FFL Genesis, everything you'll need out in the field is all here. But if somebody is wanting to come on board, one of the things that you can do is, again, walk them through this process here. This is Join FFL Genesis, so you can send them here as opposed to trying to have a bunch of conversations with them and everything else. You can send them here. There was a brand new video that was just done yesterday that will be uploaded on here within the next 24 to 48 hours. So you can see down at the bottom here, some of the videos aren't working because we've had to make them private due to the FTC, but those will be updated and changed here in the next 48 hours or so. The FFL overview, if I click on that, again, you can see this video is I'm going to upload the new video in there today, in the next 48 hours, I should say. And I'll put that I think I put the new video out there on the Slack line yesterday, the new at Rogue FFL 2022. It's actually pretty good. Leadership, I'll have those slides for you guys at the meeting to airdrop to you as well. I got them all cropped up and ready to go. What we provide: term, whole life, universal, annuities, and then very soon we'll be offering a Medicare supplement for those of you guys that want to do that. How we do it, a lot of these videos have been marked private now. We'll get these updated. Compensation, virtual. There's now a password for the virtual. So we'll probably either remove that or put the password out here so people can log in and see it on their own. Podcast, obviously this needs to be updated, and then join the team. So if you have a new potential candidate that's interested, you could send them out here to the website. Obviously, once it's fixed up, they can put your name in there in the box, and then what we'll do, when a form comes in a PDF format, we'll send that over to you, and then we'll help you do the interview to bring that person on if you'd like our help doing that. Okay, do a lot of Zoom interviews, those kind of things, face-to-face, but we're here to help you guys and support you. Okay. One of the last things that I want to show you guys before we move to go through the process from top to bottom is on the FFL Genesis website, you can actually go out and create your own link. Okay. So I highly recommend you guys do this when we get off the phone today. It'll literally take you 30 seconds. So where you see under Genesis onboarding process, the very first option you have over there says custom rogue IMO link. You can either click the picture or you can click the link, the bar there. I'm just going to click the picture. And what you do is you go in and put your first name, your last name, your email, and your phone number. When you do that, it's going to give you a link, okay? That link will then take you out here to this video. All right? So this is what your new candidate will see when you send them your link. Now, not to get too technical, but the link that you're going to get is going to be kind of long. You can go to, and I'm happy to walk anybody through this. You can go to GoDaddy. You can go to any, web domain company or whatever and create the Vallette Brothers Insurance or FFL Tim Belo or FFL Worldwide. You can create any of those things that you want and drop the link that you're going to get from creating this into that, and that's what you send to people. So when they come out here, they're going to click Get Access. They're going to put their first name, last name, state, email, and phone number. And when they hit Submit, it's going to start playing the video for them. And it's also going to notify you that that new candidate has actually started to watch the video. The new video is about 16 minutes. And after they've watched that video, if I were you, I would reach back out to them and see what, if they're an A, B, or a C and ready to get locked and loaded. Anybody have any questions about that? All right, cool. Okay, so let's cover the process very quickly. So you've met, excuse me, you're at dinner and your server, he or she does an absolutely fantastic job. And you think that there's somebody that could be pretty good at this. So you have the conversation with them, you sent them to the Join FFL Genesis, they take a look at it, and then from there, you want to set up the interview. You can either try to do the interview yourself, or you can reach out to your business partner or me, whoever, and we'll help you conduct the interview. Once they get done, they say they're ready to rock and roll, right? Of course, they have to pass the test if they're not licensed. You'd be shocked at how many people you're going to talk to that were either licensed before or actively have their license. You'll be shocked. So the first thing that you're going to do after they go through that process is you're going to go back to the website, the FFL Genesis website. Now, this is if you're on our team. I think we might have a few people here that are not a part of Genesis. So just bear with us for a second. You're going to go onto the website and you're going to complete the onboarding form. You're going to complete the form, not the agent, the new potential agent, because they're not going to have an idea in the world what that is. First name, middle name, last name, social security, address, all the information, right? Your comp, their comp, you're going to put that information in the system. That comes into Amy and I, and then Amy, if she's doing that for you, she's going to send out the welcome email, okay? That welcome email, if this person is not licensed, is going to give them a discount code. We use Excel solutions, which just about everybody on here this morning probably used Excel. 83% of the people that use Excel pass the exam the first time, okay? That's the reason why we use them. Give them 2 weeks from the time the information is sent out to them. Most people that don't go through the course within 2 weeks never show up. That's just how it works. So if you're not staying in contact with them every 24 to 48 hours and they get outside that 2 week period, the chance of that person coming on is slim to none. It just is. And then you get on this awkward, weird hamster wheel of, should I call them again? Should they call me? Those kind of things. Give them 2 weeks, be upfront about it. If they don't get it done, just pull the offer back. Okay. So once they do that, they're going to go through, they're going to take the test material, they're going to get done, and they're going to pass their exam the first time, right? After they pass their exam, you guys have to let Amy and I know, either via Slack or whatever, send us a message on Slack letting us know that Michael Smith has just passed his exam. Then what happens with Mr. Smith is he's going to get another email, a welcome email. And that welcome email is going to have the information for HCMS, okay? I'm going to pause and give you guys a quick pro tip. When you guys start getting agent codes come through, they usually, most of the time, I'll say 50% of the time, they come through me. If they come through me, I'm going to email you congratulating, but I'm also going to tell you, hey, Amy's going to put this particular code into HCMS, or you have to put your code into HCMS. Please don't blow that off. And here's why. When you sell or help your first 15 families and it's time for you to get that 5% pay increase, if you don't have all of your carriers in there, we cannot submit it. So you're actually hurting your own income. And I always tell people to mind your business. Nobody can go in there and make an adjustment to your compensation or do anything like that without your approval. That's why we give you guys access to your own HCMS. A lot of agencies don't. They do the HCMS for their agents. But sometimes what you may have thought, you thought you were getting 110 and then you go in there and it's 100. And it might not be malicious, but if you're going in there and you have access to the system, you're minding your business. Nobody can make any of those adjustments for you. All right. So the email comes out, HCMS, you're going to complete all the information. Then you're going to get a second email telling you that you've done it correctly through HCMS. And then the third one is going to have a link to SuranceBay. Okay. So keep in mind, you have two systems, HCMS and SuranceBay. Once you get the SuranceBay link, you're going to click on it and it's going to take you into SuranceBay. Now, I'm going to pause. Does anybody have questions up to this point? Because this gets really quick after this. Any questions? Perfect. Okay. Now you've clicked the link. You've gotten the email from HCMS. You've gotten the second one telling you you've completed it. The third HCMS email is going to take you into SuranceBay. You're going to click the link. And of all the carriers you're going to see in there, you're only going to complete these three. I don't know why this trips people up, but it does, because it is in the instructions that we talk about all the time. This again is not a novel. It's an instruction guide. It's like putting a desk together, right? Once they're in the insurance bay, they've completed the information. The only 3 carriers they're going to complete: Americo, AIG, and Move. Again, Americo, AIG, and Move. Those are the only 3 carriers that they're going to submit for to get appointed with. Okay. And another little quick pro tip. I had somebody call me about this yesterday. Once you get all your information uploaded into Insurance Bay, it's literally just clicking buttons to apply for the carriers. Only apply for Americo, AIG, Mutual of Omaha. That's it. Keep in mind, you have to send your teammate Prosperity. That's when you're going to send them on your own. Okay. So they're going to start off with those 4 carriers. Then after they've done the big 3, Americo, AIG, and Mutual, then they're going to go back into HCMS and they're going to complete these, I think 7 carriers, I believe. I think it's 7. American Amicable, also known as AMAM. So if you hear AMAM and America, AMAM and American Amicable is the same thing. Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, Transamerica. I think that's 6. AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, and Transamerica. That is it. They're going to see all kinds of other carriers there. They're going to want to click on them. We tell people all the time, don't do that, and they do it anyway. If they do that, it's going to get declined, and they're going to have to start over. AMAM, Foresters, Aetna, John Hancock, Great Western, Transamerica. That's it. So if you do that, guys, they have a total of 10 total carriers. Now, we got people on here that wrote 100, 200,000, 100, 150,000 last year that probably used 5 or 6 carriers. I will tell you, it's an excuse not to get started, especially now with Prosperity having both products that you can sell right off the top. Now, not to make this confusing, because I know we have people in these areas. If you have an agent that is in one of these 6 or 7 states, Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, or Vermont, and they are with AMAM, American Amicable. If you want to get paid in those states, Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont, you must apply for Occidental. It is their sister company. I don't know why they have it set up that way, but you have to have Occidental in order to get overrides in those states. All right. Iowa, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Vermont. That is with AMAM. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I just covered? You guys are sharp. Again, some of the carriers, Amy's going to have to enter into the system. The ones that you guys have to enter, once they come through, we will let you guys know which ones you have to enter in. Before we let you guys go, we're getting pretty good at this, keeping this thing under 40 minutes. Amy, anything that you'd add? I did good today. Any questions anybody else has today, this morning? Fantastic. Again, if you guys need help with interviews, let me know. If you'd like to have the ZipRecruiter, that's $50 per location, not state, per location. Happy to walk you guys through that process. We'll get the recruiting website back up and going here in the next couple of days, and we'll keep moving forward. Thank you guys for all of you. If you need anything, let me know, and stay safe, and bye for now.
Thanks, Corey.
Anytime, guys. Michael, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
You're welcome.